Start. So
Yeah.
before we really start, did you watch the football game yesterday?
When you say football in
I'm
Europe,
sorry. Let me
it's
rephrase. Let
soccer,
me
you know.
rephrase. Yeah. No. So let me rephrase. Did
American
you watch
football.
American football yesterday? Did you watch the
I don't
Super
know
Bowl?
even how this is played, to be honest.
And that's a
Like
good way
like
to start the show. Hold on one second.
like baseball. I don't.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
All right. Well, here we are. So baseball is different than football.
Yeah, I know that, but I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying.
how they are played. Both. What are the rules? I don't know.
Football is very simple, and this is because if you're from a European background, football is a land acquisition game. The idea in football is to beat the hell out of the other side and conquer land, 10 or 20 meters at a time
Oh,
until you score, or in the case of when they came over here, until you just kick the Indians out. Baseball and is a little different. Baseball is where you have a stick, and we used to play stickball, the same thing, where you have a stick and a ball and you hit it. And the idea is to hit the ball as hard as you can so it goes out of the ballpark so
yeah.
you can
But
run
what's
around
the
the
difference?
bases.
What's the difference between baseball and cricket?
Well, cricket
Oh
is
Lord.
okay. Cricket is
Wow.
an animal that you crush. Now, cricket is played with a stick and three pins, and you've got a bowl. It's called bowling, and you've got to do the thing. But a cricket match could go on for like days, where
Jeez.
baseball is 9 innings. So,
Oh yeah, for
yeah,
days. Why?
oh yeah,
You mean
and
you mean they
cricket,
can stop it, go to bed, and come
yeah,
back
and
and
come back and come
continue the
back.
game?
Yes, they can
My
do that.
God,
Yeah, and cricket is
what was the
I'm not
longest game that ever played?
I think it was like 3 or 4 days, and I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We'll have to look on the internet and see. But when we were doing deals in Trinidad and Tobago, I remember that their national team had made it to like the whatever the like World Cup of cricket is. Um, and let me tell you, everybody was glued to the television set from whether you were at a restaurant, a bar, the hotel, in meetings. They were all cheering on the national cricket team for Trinidad and Tobago. But yeah, I don't know what the longest cricket match is. I'll have to look that up and see. Let me see.
When I was living in Carteros in the on the beach, every Sunday there
Okay.
were people from Pakistan coming and meeting,
Right?
and they were playing this cricket. I think with white balls. And
Yeah.
I sat there sometimes and watched, and they asked me, "Do you want to play?" I say, "I don't know how to play this. I can't." And
Okay,
they
and
did.
here you go. The longest cricket match ever played was the fifth test between England and South Africa in 1939. The match was played in Kingsmead Cricket Grounds in Durban, South Africa. It lasted from March 3rd to March 17th, 1939. It lasted 14 days and was abandoned as a draw after 9 days of
They
play.
started when they finished. There was a Second World War.
When they finished the word in the
Yeah, they're like,
nine
what the
days,
hell just came out?
here
What happened?
and here's some other facts that the fans won't care about. In 9 days, they had 680 bowlers. The team of South Africa endured the match. It means the guy pitched or somebody threw 680 pitches, if you will. And there you go.
Okay.
That's it. Cricket match. It just goes on till it ends.
But what? There was some important game yesterday in the football.
So
We call it
football,
American football.
right? American football. We had something called the Super Bowl, which is also where
Yeah.
Superman goes to the bathroom. Um, so what ends up happening is there's a team called the Philadelphia Eagles, and there's another team called the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to win three Super Bowls
Cheese.
in a row.
Cheese like the cheese
Chiefs,
we eat.
like
Cheese. Cheese.
Chiefs, Kansas City,
Ah, cheese.
and the
That's cheese.
Philadelphia Eagles. And the Philadelphia Eagles decimated them 40-22 or something.
Oh.
And the Philadelphia Eagles came to win. It was good. And I was telling Vicky before the show, I'm a New York Jets and New York Giants fan. So I had to root for something from the Northeast because my teams are never going to make it. So I rooted for the Eagles.
New
And the
York
Eagles
has
did
two
well.
teams, two big teams.
We have the New York Giants,
Giants, yeah,
right?
I've heard.
And we have the New York Jets. The Jets were
And
great once back when Joe Namath was quarterback. That would be in 1967. That was when the Jets were last a good team. So
67.
67,
Well,
1967, not the year
that's
67.
long ago.
Yeah, that's many
long.
years ago.
It's almost 100 years ago.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Or
So,
200. Or 200.
200.
So you're
200
still
years ago.
supporting them? You should
You
go
know,
with the winners.
no, I'm from New York,
Uh,
and as a New Yorker, we're just stupid like this. If you're from New
How
York,
long have you been living in New York?
I was born and raised in New York.
But now you're not in New York.
It
Why
doesn't
did
matter.
you
I'm
leave?
still a New Yorker because I wouldn't want to be anything else but
You
a New
did
Yorker.
something criminal, illegal there. You have to leave.
Probably a lot. Sure.
Yeah.
The human,
You
listen,
lost count. So
the human
just-
trafficking and the drugs, they get mad. You gotta go.
So how did you come to Austin?
By plane.
In not LA, for example.
Well, I lived in LA for about a year. It sucks. And then, as you could see, we burnt it down. So
Why?
we could make
Because of
better
the
roads.
fires?
No. Traffic.
You didn't like LA?
Taxes, I did not like it. I'm
I
not
like
an LA
LA.
guy. Here's the problem I had in LA. We looked at a house in Brentwood, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a very nice house. And we were supposed to go to dinner. This is like 10 years ago. And we were going to go to dinner on like somewhere in Beverly Hills at a sushi restaurant, 7 miles away. It took us 2.5 hours to get there. And I was like, screw this, I'm done. It's like the traffic there is horrible. And I was like, yeah, not happening. So, and the taxes are out of whack. So
It's not like New York traffic is
I
great.
It's better.
New York is,
This is what I was going to ask. Is New York better with traffic?
Yes.
Or?
they have public transportation you can take, but Steven would never take that because he has to have his driver and his limo and his, his entourage.
Excuse
He
me.
wouldn't get on the
New
subway
York,
anyway.
in New York, I do take the tubes. I do. I will, because I know
I
by
don't
taking the
believe it.
tubes, I
Well,
will.
LA does not have the metro.
Well, it has one, but it goes like 3 blocks, and that's about
Right.
it. It's like
That's the metro of LA.
right.
Yeah.
The one in,
I have
the
to-
one in New York goes.
I have to
all
see
over.
it on the map.
But I will tell
LA
you,
Metro.
when you take the tubes in New York or the subway. When I was a kid, they didn't have air conditioning. It was terrible. Now it's like halfway decent.
No,
with
it's
air and whatever.
big.
It's not that
big.
big. Trust me. Hunt,
Wow,
dude.
it's very
In
big.
comparison to LA, if you look at the size of Los Angeles, it's like this big.
Yeah, it's 3
yeah.
blocks. Yeah.
Comparing
But
to
New
the
York
size.
goes all
Right?
over. And I will tell
Yeah.
you, taking the tubes in New York, I will do all day long because I can get anywhere in 5 minutes. Now, if I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to need to do stuff and I need a driver, then I have no problems. If I know I'm going to get a driver, I'm going to sit in traffic. I just know that. But like, that's fine. I mean, I also know when to travel.
I know why you don't like LA and California, because they are Democrats.
Probably. Anyway, so,
And you are brother of Donald Trump, or I don't know,
Uncle
cousin.
Donnie? Uncle Donnie.
Yeah, you
Uncle
look
Donnie.
like him a little. I don't know. The last once you have changed a little, and you look a little like him.
My dad knew Uncle Donnie, sir. So I
Oh, you
met
see,
Donnie.
now
I met
we're
Donnie a few
slowly
times.
getting things out.
Listen,
Everybody has to suck up to survive now. It's
Yeah.
really the mantra around here.
Yeah,
not
in the
sucking
whole
up.
world, not only in the USA.
Listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is who the people elected. Why? Because they wanted, and I think we spoke about this. They wanted a strong leader. They wanted somebody who had balls.
They
The
wanted
Democrats have
somebody
no
who will
balls.
bring back the plastic straws, right?
Right, plastic straws, which he did. He
At
brought back
last,
plastic
a
straws.
real leader, a real guy who can, and we can now use plastic straws.
Yes.
I mean, we can use them. You know why? Because those plastic shit, they all end up in the sea, and we eat the shit with the fishes.
Right.
You've heard about the stories that they said that we men
Microplastic.
we gather microplastics in our balls, right?
Yeah.
And now I read another one that we also in the brain we collect the plastic in the brain.
Yeah, it's in the
Oh,
brain.
that
It
explains
fits
a
the
lot.
narrative that we're becoming a plastic generation. So
Well, that's one of the other
it's
reason
all
I don't like.
plastic, fantastic. So we
That's
need
the
to
other
have
reason.
plastic inside.
That's the other reason I don't like LA, because all the women are petroleum, and you can use them as golf tees. You just take them to a
You know
golf
what?
range and bring them
Actually,
Why
down.
it doesn't happen
I
in
think
New York? It happens everywhere now.
Stop it. New York, they're all
true.
pure.
Yeah, they are angels.
I saw
if New
more
York is
plastic
angels and LA
surgery.
is devils, I go to the devils.
Okay, you do that. Vicky, go
There's more
ahead.
plastic surgery in Las Vegas. I think I saw walking around than in
Really? But
LA.
they're all from LA. All the girls I know that live in LA are all like, "What are
Well,
you doing
true.
this weekend in Los
Well,
Angeles?" Yeah, hold on. Let's see where the
maybe.
largest boob jobs are. Where?
But Stephen,
There we go.
there is a song that says LA woman, and there's no song that says New York woman. You see? That's
All right.
another reason to prefer LA than New York.
All right. Well, oh, we are all
And it's
wrong.
cold. New York is cold, no?
I know. Yes, New York is next. It's only cold because we don't like people. Okay, so here you go, kids, on plastic
You got so
surgery.
many millions.
Yeah, here we go. Florida, who knew, has the largest rate of plastic
Uh,
surgery per capita. California is the second highest rate of plastic surgery. New York is third. Texas accounts for 8.5. I don't know what they're getting done. Georgia is
Dallas.
4.3. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Georgia's 4.3. Georgia's still where husband and wife divorced. They're still brother and
You mean
sister.
implants now?
No, plastic surgery in general. Not about
Plastic
it could
surgery
be
in
lips,
general.
breasts, could
Ah,
whatever.
plastic. It can
Yeah.
be.
Right.
Okay.
Illinois, here you go. Illinois is the next one, New Jersey, and then North Carolina. Plastic surgery by the city, Miami, Florida has the most plastic surgeons, 1,000 per 1,000 residents. Salt
Oh,
Lake, Utah is next. Los Angeles is next, followed by what? Austin, Texas.
Utah
There
is
you
so.
go.
wait, Salt
Yeah.
Lake?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So LA, all the girls with fake
Wow.
boobs. That's why Austin, Texas has all the oil. That makes sense. So
That's bizarre. So
that's
we
crazy.
have a ton
So
of surgeons,
bizarre.
but we're not like, yeah, we're not ranked on the top. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But okay, sure. They have a lot here, they just don't perform a lot of surgery, I guess. They're bored.
No, it's I never got plastic surgery. I don't understand. Like, I mean, we're men or women. I know men, people get nose jobs and they get this, and women get for their breasts, and I never got that. I don't understand it.
You look a little younger.
Yeah, but are you that vain?
What you want to understand?
Yeah, but see, that means
They
you have
do
no
it because they want to look a little younger.
Yeah, but that's that's a
Oh,
lack of self confidence.
Yeah, and
yeah, but it doesn't mean you're
that's
gay when you,
everybody's almost like
Okay.
that. It's
I
a
I think,
human. Say, Vicky. Sorry.
well, I mean, women have traditionally been the minority and have had to, I mean, I don't think, I think if we were populated by a planet of women, we wouldn't be getting boob jobs. It's because of men that women get boob jobs. So, I mean, like different kind of plastic surgery, right? Like there's
Blue jobs. What you say?
boob jobs,
Boob, breast
Boob
implants.
jobs.
breast
Boob
implants,
She's
jobs.
talking about
Okay.
breast implants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
breast
but
implants.
guys,
but the plastic surgery it's in general. I think like well, not
Right,
only.
exactly. You have to talk about the different things because,
right.
getting a nose
Yeah.
job is a different than
Yeah, because look, making a plastic surgery on the face because you have a lot of wrinkles and everything is different from making your boobs. And sometimes when I watch porn, and it's a big, yeah, I watch porn like everybody,
Oh,
I think, but not
I would never
everybody
watch it. Disgusting.
says it. But I've it's really I don't know how to say it. I mean, if you make, I'm guessing that there are different types of operations you can do, right? But they're
Yeah,
doing something that is exaggerated. I mean, you can see that it's like perfectly rounded boob, and
yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing there are men who like it. I don't like it. I mean, it's for me. I met a girl actually once that she had this, and
Congratulations.
for me, for me, only once, and for me it was strange. I was looking at it. It's very strange. I mean, okay, you can get used to it, but you'll never get out of your head that it's not natural. I mean, it's not natural. It's too rounded. You know, in life there is no perfection, and those I look like perfect, and so it's somehow outside of the aesthetic of life. It's exaggerated.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
What do you think,
yeah,
Vicky?
yeah. I mean, I agree with Adam. But I mean, I think everything's fake now, right? We've got filters and we've got AI, we've got everything trying to get to this certain standard of some made up. Um, like it makes me laugh because this century this look is in, pale is in, or tan
Right.
is in, and it's just like these sort of arbitrary things, thin eyebrows or thick eyebrows or big boobs or small boobs or whatever. And then sort of like once you get there as a society, it kind of flips and goes, oh no, but this is in now. And you're kind of like, it's this strange things humans have. I think when you reach a point of not having to worry about living or dying, where you start worrying about stuff like, oh, is my nose too big? Rather than like, do I have enough food to eat today? Like, as a society, you sort of reach this other level of shit you make up to worry about and do, like insurance and plastic surgery and stuff, when it used to be like, I made fire, I could live another day, or
Yeah.
I caught a rabbit, I don't, my family gets to eat or whatever. But
So we invest a
yeah,
lot into the aesthetics, you mean?
Yeah, because
But it's not
people
only
are
that we invest in
superficial.
aesthetics. It was always like that. But we invest now into aesthetics that are unnatural in a way, you know?
That's because people are superficial. I mean, I mean, like, who cares if you
people
have?
have always been superficial though. That's
Yeah,
just
but
a human
nowadays
condition.
more so because I think of social media. You know what I mean? Like to the
No,
Well,
no,
point
it's
of
it's not
easier to
started
fake it.
like with social media. This is continuation. Actually, we are living the time of everything's about philosophy right now, and we've been
okay,
talking about that. The dominant philosophy right now is materialism, which
okay,
says actually, and it started after the Renaissance.
the
Not
Super Bowl.
Renaissance. No, it's about 18th century, I think, and it was a
Right
movement
after
The
America.
against
Revelation.
the church.
Okay, well, that's
Ah,
since day one.
Enlightenment, the Enlightenment,
Okay.
and everything has become. When you take out spirituality out of the
Hmm.
equation of humans, what you have left? You have left material. So it says that okay, the brain creates consciousness. It's all matter. You just born, you die, you eat shit, fuck. That's all. There's nothing more.
Can we go
turn to
back to
plastic.
So,
that
so
one?
what to do? You just chase money. That's why we have Donald Trump, Musk, and everybody else ruling us.
Right,
Aesthetics like this, you have to be beautiful.
right.
It doesn't matter, of course, when they have a relationship. Then there are a lot of people are becoming more beautiful, but they have more divorce than ever. What the fuck happened? So probably the aesthetic is not the important factor of a relationship somehow.
Right. Yeah, but that's
It's
because
Mhm.
once again, people are superficial. The men
yeah,
want the trophy wife because they want that hot little whatever. And women, I heard a comedian say the other day, he goes, when he talks to girls that are like under 30 and they talk about, well, we could put Rachel into this category too. So that'd be girls over 30, but they all want guys, they want the abs, they want the pecs, they want this. And then like this comedian's a little overweight and he lifted up his shirt and he goes, here's the only ab you get, ladies. I mean, like there's a reality to like, they see all this stuff on social media and they're all like, it's great what you want, but then it's kind of like, look at yourself. And it's like, it's like, it's not that you have to settle, but it's sort of like if you have to work on things, like you have to work on your brain, you have to go to a gym. You have to like meet your people 50%. Guys, on the other hand, don't seem to, because if you have money, you can literally just wave money in front of a little, Bambi and she'll be like, okay, daddy. And then you're done. So I think it just depends on if you're superficial or if you want more than superficial. Like
what
you want to wake up
superficial
with someone
actually
that you can have a
means.
dialogue
Let's see.
with. Superficial. It means
No, I have to
what's
do
Trump's
to
wife's name? No,
the Greek
so,
one, Epipolo. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
yeah,
Epipolos. Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's true. I agree.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I think you have to look at it in that respect. If you're superficial, then you're going to go after like the girl where if you line up 10 of her friends, you blow in her ear, it's a wind tunnel. So
Yeah,
I
but
think
what I
that's how
want
you
to
look
tell
at
you,
it.
it didn't start with social media. It was before. It's two and a
Oh
half
yeah,
centuries now. It's metaphysics. It's our philosophy now.
it's
We have
longer than
taken
that.
spirituality out of the way. We don't
Right.
believe that there is such a thing. We don't believe that there is a God. And when I say God, I have to tell every time that I don't mean a guy with beard and something like a human look like God.
Right.
But what the hell? There is something that created all this, right?
We
Because
hope we better,
if
because
it
if not,
didn't
this is
create, then doesn't exist. And so we,
no.
but it
Well,
exists. Even
right,
if it's a kind of a dream, it exists. It's here, and
right,
something created this. It didn't
okay.
create itself. Even if it created itself, what does it mean itself? What is the itself? You know?
So when we talk about that, and we talked about this before, then are we going to like what the CIA's Gateway Project calls the absolute, which is everything is energy, and when you go, all these experiences, you go back to the absolute, and you fill it with these
It's not
experiences, and then you
everything
go out again.
energy. I don't believe that
Everything's
everything is
energy. I think
energy. Of
everything's
course
energy.
not.
It
No.
has to be.
Are your dream energy?
Oh my God, you
Dreams?
should
Are
see
your
my
dreams?
dreams. Oh my, it's like the Energizer
Are
Bunnywagon.
your wishes energy?
Of course they are. You should see the
How?
wishes I
What
get.
kind of energy? Can you measure? Can you measure it? Energy is something you
Yeah,
can measure. This is also. It also has to do with materialism because the
right,
materials. What it says. You have to prove to me the existence of God
right,
because we have taken science to the upper level of the society. It's the most important science.
right.
And science, what it does,
Um,
science does not look for truth. Science looks if it works, if something works. That's the work of science. It examines how nature works,
Hmm.
and it tries to do things that work.
Okay.
The truth is something different. They don't care about the truth. So, so the outcome of materialism is that there is no God, there is no spiritual, there is nothing. Okay, so what are my dreams, my
Mhm.
fantasies, my thoughts,
Well, your fantasies.
the mental stuff. What is the mental stuff?
yeah.
Oh, it's created by the brain. How?
Right.
How can
Right.
matter
Right.
create dreams, love,
Mhm.
for example,
What?
feelings?
What?
How can it create it? They cannot answer. Oh, we will answer it somewhere in the future. Really? We are talking about two different, totally different kind of domains. How can material give rise to feelings? So, and this is the
Vicky,
issue that we
Vicky,
have
Vicky, Vicky's about to
in
say something and be
yeah, Vicky,
profound. I
say,
could tell.
say,
You could tell.
please say.
No, I can't remember now. I think I was
And,
going to say that there's this religious right we have here that has no interest in science and has, I mean, I think Trump just created, I don't remember exactly because I was trying not to pay attention, but he's got some kind of police watchdog group now that's headed by this crazy lady, pastor lady that he's got in
yeah.
charge of. What is it, Stephen? It's like the Christian, it's not a Christian coalition, but it's something like that
Oh,
now that he
yeah.
gets appointed at.
I saw the commercial. Yes, it's the Christian. I know what you're talking about now. Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, here goes science and, you know,
Yeah.
everything out the window and autonomy and like all his shit because it's like, so I don't know. I mean, I think that's still very much part of this society, this whole religious, don't prove anything to me. I just believe everything. I believe the fairy tale and the fable and the magic underwear and whatever, and everybody else has to believe it too, and yada yada yada. Like that's still definitely at least alive and well here, unfortunately.
Well,
Um,
because people don't think, and I think you get, and the problem is the church, the Catholic Church, will start with them because they're always fun to pick on because they got the guy with the funny hat and cute
Oh,
shoes.
the Orthodox is not different, you know,
No, I know, but what happened
much
was is
different.
when they were doing the books of the Bible that were written, at least some of these books were written 50 to 100 to 200, 300 years after whatever. So they're all
uh,
just fairy tales. They're just somebody telling a story.
uh,
But they took out about 87, I'm sorry, they took out 14 books because like the Gospel of the Virgin Mary, and there's another one, I forgot the name, that they were talking about, how we were created. And the church was like, oh no, we can't have this. And then the one was like, one of the books I remember when I read the books that were taken out in a big volume thing was saying, you don't need to go to a building to worship God. You don't need a man like, the guy with the
Of
dog
course, it's
collar to bear your
everywhere.
sins. You could just, you can
Right. So
just
then,
talk to
You can
God,
turn into
whatever.
oh, that's
yourself.
really
You are
yeah.
part of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
universe. You are
So
part of
that's
God.
so
That's
the
it.
so
So they
the
got rid of that.
Mormons that she was talking about with the magic underwear, like they say that that Mormon president speaks with God. Well, I don't mean to be rude to the Mormons, but why not? Because they're stupid. You can speak to
It's
God
pleasant.
too. If there is a God, then you can speak to him. But I don't, to your point, I don't think God is a gentleman or a lady with a white beard. If it's a lady
Of
with a white beard,
course.
I got a circus that she can go to and make a load of money. But anyway, I don't think it's this person or entity with a white beard. I think it is a concept. And I think um, you have to believe the concept that yes, we're here, and it wasn't the Big Bang. I have a real problem with that one. It's not the string theory, but whatever put us here, put us here. But see, I always say if I ever met the creator, and they say it's the Anunnaki, let's say in one of the books it's aliens, then my question to the Anunnaki is, great, who created you? And then they have a story, and it's like, okay, great, now who
Chicken and
created
egg.
you? Right. So
Right.
you keep going to a point, and I've always said this. I said we're somewhere on a scale to 1 to 10. We're like 3 or 4, but there's somebody that's 0, where it all started, and that's what I want to know. How did it all start?
Yeah,
And
but
that's the
look,
biggest thing.
how it started. You are thinking in the human
Because
logic,
time is linear, right?
and you put time into equation
Yeah.
because you say there was behind. There's something, a starting point.
Right. Yeah.
But it is supposed that through the one that you don't like, but it's the only one we have. Probably it's not true, but we don't know.
Right.
But it's the only model we have of the Big Bang, that the time started at that point. There was no time before, so there was. There isn't something behind. There isn't something before. There is an
Yeah,
eternity, and
but we don't know. That's the problem. It's a hypothesis. It's
we
not
don't know
fact.
anything at
Well, that's
all.
very true.
We're too small to know anything. We
Right.
are just look. We are in a small rock
Right.
that is running around an average star,
Right.
and
Right.
we say that God looks like us. It has beard. What the
Yeah.
hell?
He's more like you,
It's like
apparently.
look how kind of vanity is that? That there's a whole
Right.
universe. Whole
Yeah.
universe. It's infinite, probably,
Yeah.
and God has to look like us.
Well, how?
And say, don't do this,
Right.
don't do
Right.
that, and don't do that.
Yeah.
So what? Why the hell did you bring all this shit here and give me
Yeah.
all the time? Uh, 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 when I not prejudice.
Prejudice is good.
Temptations all the time. And they say,
Oh.
don't do it. And then you see women naked coming all over like this. And say, what the fuck? You give me the impetus to want to have sex. And then you say, don't do that. Don't touch. Don't look
Yeah.
sometime,
Yeah.
nothing. What the hell?
Yeah. I know.
It's like a sadistic God, It's like a sadist. He's sitting somewhere there with the beard. I don't know how they imagine it. Sitting down there, they don't do that. Look what the script say.
Yeah.
Look, you are here, and this is the tree of knowledge. Don't eat that fruit. And,
Right.
and he said that to the humans, which humans are don't. They immediately go and look there.
But
Yeah,
first of all,
it's like I was there's a party, like it's a
yeah.
story. It doesn't exist. It's a party, and two women are talking about, and a guy comes in, and the woman says, "Hey, do everything you want with any man around here, but not with this one. Why not with this one? Because he fucks everything that moves." Oh, really? So it's when you say to a human, don't do it, especially when he's young or a child,
Right.
it's like saying to them, look, it's very interesting. Something's going on there. And this is the God that they have fantasized, you understand?
All right.
Like a
No, I got
sadist
that.
guy,
Right.
a sadist guy who is
Omnipotent and
omnipresent,
omnipowerful.
yeah. He knows everything, knows the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
So he knows your future before you were born. He knows every sin you will create, and then will judge you for the sins before
Yeah.
you were born. You see the logic behind this.
There's no
There's no
logic. There's
fucking
no logic.
logic. There's
And
no
here's the
logic.
other.
There's
And
nothing in
here's
that.
and here's the problem, though. And you'll have to defend the women on this one, Vicky. If you read the fable, first there was Lilith. And Lilith and Adam didn't get along, because Lilith was like a bitch, and they go get out. And then so what he did is he created Eve. And Eve apparently wasn't a bitch and very subservient, which, every man loves. I wore garters and a whole thing. The problem is Eve, like most women, didn't listen. And so when they go don't eat the tree, and the serpent's like, listen, baby, you eat from the tree, daddy's going to take care of you. She goes, oh, I'm going to eat for the tree. So it's because of the women in the world. We have the problem.
Yeah,
It's their fault.
and
It's
we
their
found
fault. There you go.
yeah, we found the, how would they call the gold, this
The gold?
when we put the blame on something, the
Just
gold
women.
something.
You just women. It's just the women's fault. That's how I look at everything.
Yeah,
Scapegoat, Adam.
we yeah,
Scapegoat, right.
yeah. We found the man, right, because it's
Right.
a patriarch, and the Christian whole testament and everything is clearly patriarch, right?
You think?
And like our Donald, like your president now is obviously
Arnie.
patriarch,
He is?
Yeah,
He seems like such a nice guy. Anyway, so okay,
he might be a nice guy. As a person, I don't know. We cannot judge him as a guy like next door. He's a fucking president. He's taking decisions that affects everybody in this planet, not only in America, right? We shouldn't allow you to vote alone there in America. You do a lot of mistakes, and because we also suffer, we should vote also for you.
And let me just say this before Vicky answers the Eve question. It's really the women's fault that Donald Trump is president, because all the women voted for him because they want a strong, misogynistic male that is going to grab their little thing and they're going to go, because Joe Biden couldn't get a stiffy. I think that's what happened. What do you think, Vicky?
Women didn't vote for him. Well, I mean, women did vote for him, but that's not the reason why he got elected. It was other minority votes, which is interesting. That's a whole other different conversation. But to answer your question, if Adam wasn't such an asshole, then Lilith never would have kicked him out. So it's his fucking fault in the first place. He just would have stayed with his first wife and not been a.
We don't know what happened there. We don't know what happened there.
Right, then they wouldn't have gone. He would have had his wife number 2 anyway, so it's all his freaking fault.
Maybe he wanted, because he is a creation of God, right? He is like God. He is like God. So he said, why one woman? Why not 2 women?
Why not 3?
So I can 3. Maybe there were. Look, there must have been more, because how they created humanity.
That's how they created humanity. One child at a time, which doesn't make really any sense.
I think he was giving Adam women, and
keeping him
he
drunk,
was making sex all the time and creating children to those women that God was giving to him. But look, the whole problem is that we have turned those myths, which in my opinion they hold some truth. They don't have. They have the religious truth. It's not literal. We are living in the fascism of literacy now. If the atheists and everything, when I say to them, look, the guys there at the age of Jesus and everything, and all the ancient, they were living in a symbolic life. If you read even the scripts, like poems or it's very symbolic. Everything is symbolic. Because they didn't understand the word, so everything was God and magic and like that. So in their everyday life, they were using symbolism a lot, like metaphors and symbols. But we take those stories literally, and we say, "Oh, Adam and Eve, how from his part here created Eve and all this shit." Well, it's a myth. If you want to take something from the myth, like the Greek myths, there's nothing real in the Greek myths, nothing almost. But there are stories that want to tell you something. They point to somewhere. They want to teach you something about the nature of life, of humans, and everything like that. If we take it literally, we have lost the game. I mean,
we've lost already.
Of course, we have lost the game.
But here's the problem.
That's why, Stephen. That's why we are not really happy. We don't enjoy our lives. I mean, I do, but what I see around me, I see people that they don't. They say, "I work from, I don't get too much money. I spend I don't have time for my family." Say, well, this is the society we have created. I mean, we are in the best technological, reality right now. The humans never had this technology as we have AIs now. which in the future probably there's always two ways. It can go good way, it can go bad way, but somehow we let people to guide us into the bad way. I don't know.
Well, I'm voting for the bad way, by the way, for the AI. I'm voting for the
Yeah,
overlords to
but you're
kill us and
lizard
take
people,
over.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
the lizard people. At the lizard people Illuminati meetings we have on a weekly basis, we know what's going to happen. We're just waiting for you guys to implode. But the interesting thing is this: whether you're a religious person or you're not, so we all came from something, right? So let's assume that you're religious. Let's say you're the church. And if you believe in the fable and you came from Adam and Eve, and then you could have this thing called, I don't know, the Crusades or the Inquisition, something like that, because you don't look like us, you don't sound like us, then we're going to go kill millions of people. That's kind of like killing your relatives. So even with Islam, if I'm not mistaken, there's a creation story. It's like the Book of the Dead from the Egyptians. There's a creation story. Everything has a creation story. So theoretically or technically, we are all related. Now, Vicky could be my 537th cousin down the road. So could you, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we're all related if you believe in that. So if you do,
Of
I
course we
still
are
don't
all
get
related.
right.
If you
But
take it back, if you take the story in reverse, of course
yeah,
we're
no,
all
that's what I'm saying. If
related.
we're all related, but
We
my
came
point
from the
is
same
that
things.
right, but we're all killing
We
each
have the same
other. That's what I don't get.
material inside. We have the same operating system. That's why we can communicate. Otherwise, well, it's harder for me to communicate with my dog. We have a communication, but it's not that we have the same, because we are the same species. We have the same operating system. She has a different operating system. I don't know how it is to be her,
She has OS
but
Apple
I
6 and we
suspect
have 12.
how it is to be you.
Right. Well, but that's my whole point. When we talk about religion and we talk about these things, I'm fascinated. Like, and listen, I'm Jewish. I have no qualms saying that. Um, but then I look at what we're doing to people in like and the Hamas, they should all be wiped out. You killed people that's I have a problem with. But then we go and like we're going to wipe out Palestine. Now we're going to make it a resort and the Gaza Strip. It's very nice, make it casinos. But my whole thing is, in theory, if we're all related, you're killing a relative. So
You're
and
killing.
listen, and I'm
It's
okay with
not
that.
even,
That's what we want to do.
Stephen. You're not
But
killing even your relative. You're killing yourself. You and
yeah,
the others are you,
right. Yeah,
actually.
but people don't look at it that way. They look at I'm killing this
Well,
black
of
person, this
course,
yellow person, or
because
this
of the
white person. They don't look
dissociation,
at it.
the
Yeah,
ego,
yeah,
makes
right,
you, stitch to yourself.
right. No, I
That's
got
what
that.
the inflated with ego people, like Elon Musk, for example. Do you believe that Elon Musk actually um,
Which is himself, yes, every day. So
isn't he a egocentric
you think?
guy? Isn't it that's obvious?
You
Isn't
think?
it obvious that he's working for himself only? He believes only for himself,
And the
and
Nazi
and
Party, and the Nazi Party. Let's not forget
he'll
that.
be, look, he doesn't, he's a meta, how can I say, meta politics. This is beyond politics. Look, there was always suspicion that rich people and interpreters, people who have power, like that,
Mhm.
have always kind of influenced the politics.
Right.
And now the rich people say, look, we don't fucking need the politics. We will rule
Mhm.
directly.
Right.
We will not indirect, like through kind of democracy or shit. Look Russia, look China, look
Yeah.
Iran. They're doing pretty well. And they don't need any democracy or shit. Like you just throw them kind of elections
Mhm.
and we will win like 90%, and all that. So that show that we are the great leaders and people love us, so much.
Yeah, but if you don't take care of the people, and I know a federal judge on Friday stopped Elon from playing around in the Treasury's payment system. So I thought that was interesting. So what's
Yeah.
happening is the judicial branch is the one that's now controlling what's going on, which is very funny because it's not even the president anymore. He's signing orders. Like I'll sign a million orders, we'll see what sticks. But it's the judge is going, no, you can't do that. It's against the Constitution. It's against the law, whatever it might be. But what I'm finding interesting is that they have not addressed the issues and like I don't know, healthcare, how to get food on the table for people, how to make the place better. All I see since Uncle Donnie has come into being the president is prices going up, gas is up, and I know they said they're going to bring eggs down. Eggs have like up 110%. So I haven't seen anything come down yet. I see a lot of things going up, and I hear a lot of blah, 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 but I don't see anybody actually doing shit. The Democrats are full of crap. They got Chuck Schumer, when they talk about tariffs, bringing out avocados and Coca-Cola going, it's going to be more expensive. Hey, Chuck, go stick those up your ass. The Democrats actually need somebody now that has a pair of balls and can go, listen, this is what we need to do. Because the Republicans, great, you're there. Like I said, some of the stuff Donnie's doing, I agree with, but you're not bringing anything. I don't see you doing anything yet. Some of the policies you're putting in place, I'm good with. These other ones, I don't see what you're doing. I see we're going to head for a recession or a depression, maybe more than we're going to head for economic. Yay, make America
Well,
great again.
and it's, look, until now, because
Mhm.
okay, you're living inside and I'm an outsider, right? So I'm looking to the Donald from the European, let's say, point of
Look at
view.
that.
You know that the Europeans are starting, and they're already, I've read it in some articles, they're starting already talks with China.
Yeah, I know.
Because look, if our allies are like that, well, fuck, we need allies. Well, let's find some other allies. Like, you understand the point of view. He is actually, if the first thing he does is impose, like, what he did to Mexico and Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest allies that you can have. And then he's talking about Europe and stuff like that. You are killing your friends, actually, your allies. And you know, allies is not something granted forever.
Right.
So he's actually isolating USA.
Yes, we're isolation.
And
that's what he wants.
it's you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of two, actually, in history, of two. It reminds me of Roman Empire,
Right.
when they became, full of vanity and egoism, that we are the rulers of the world. It's how he operates. It's how he behaves. Like, he's the ruler of the world. You don't do that. Sanction, not sanctions. What he's imposing, not
Sanctions,
taxes.
tariffs and sanctions. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, and he's doing all the time. You don't do this, sanctions. You don't do this,
Right.
only like this. You're gonna take your products up to the hill. Well, the rest of the world will start, cooperating, because you made them to cooperate. And Europe will have to cooperate with Chinese, and even I'll tell you, even with Russians after some time.
Yeah.
Even with Russians, because actually, if you look at the map, Russia is next door, and they got the energy we need.
But if you think about this, in the 30s, Hoover, we were an isolationist country because of Hoover, and because of Hoover, when the war broke out, and then FDR was president, he just sat there and watched it because it didn't affect us. And then what affected us, and there's debate whether they knew it was going to happen or not, is when they bombed Pearl Harbor. Then they're like, okay, now we have to get involved. But Churchill, there's a book I just read about Churchill and FDR. It's like Churchill at the White House, which is a fascinating read. But it was talking about how he would be there before when they were in the war, saying help, 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 and FDR is like, no, yeah, we're good, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, when Pearl Harbor got bombed, they're like, no, we got to help you. So the problem we have now is that they want to make us, they're not making America great again. I mean, like, they're going to hurt the greenback. They're doing, like, they're stockpiling Bitcoin. Okay, well, that's nice. They're doing all these things. It's sort of like, if you look at and you're like, why? Like, granted, things weren't great, but if you want to make things different with China, it's just send someone to negotiate. Elon Musk, I read on Friday in the Journal, I think it was, his stock is down like the lowest it's been like in 5 years.
Yeah, because Europeans don't buy any Tesla anymore. They have like fallen 65% in Germany.
Nobody is buying his cars and stuff. So
Of
it's
course.
sort of like, you're $400 billion.
We don't like Nazis. Look, the Nazis and fascism. We in Europe, we have suffered a lot with this. My father was alive when there were Nazis in Greece, and he told me a story that when it was Pascha, Easter, and they asked, because in my family there were some rebels, against the Nazis, hidden and everything. And there was a meeting in the house. He told me he was very young. He was 10. He was born 31. So the Nazis were 43. So he was like 12, right? But he remembers because we are 12. He remember.
Yeah.
So they asked him that he saw the people in the kitchen talking like 10 people and everything like that. So they asked him to come, and they told him, Dimitri, can you go to the base that the Germans had there, and we'll give you a basket full of goods, and because it's Easter, you will offer them as goods, like a present there. And when you will be there, count the soldiers, but don't count, 1, 2, 3 in your mind, in your head. Just count the numbers of the people because they wanted to attack.
Right.
Can you do it? My father says, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So he went there. He, says out and everything, the soldiers, and it's Easter. I want to give you the present because it's okay. So he gave them the present. He started to count. He counted 9.
Yeah.
And they give him also some chocolate. So they exchange like goods.
Right.
And he
Stockings,
comes back
stockings.
to home and says, how many did you count? 9. Yeah. And 2 were sleeping because we knew 11. So they're 11. So 3 days later, they captured the base. So
Okay.
but what I want to tell you that my father, suffered from those fascists, from the Nazis, and we have them back now. There was 3 days ago, 2 days ago in Madrid, there was a congress, there was a meeting of all the alt-right parties in Europe, all those that Elon is supporting, right?
Right.
The Alternative for Deutschland, the Greek one, the in UK, Le Pen in France. So all those fucking fascists, they come back. What the hell is going on?
Now, let's, because people, first of all, we talked about this on Sermon from the German. Vicky was on that show with the brown car guy, that kids don't remember. Like university students don't even think the Holocaust happened, which that's like, are you kidding? But I heard something. Now, whether it's true or not, here's my disclaimer. So, Elon, I know you watch the show. So before you call me and you fly off the handle, calm the fuck down. And like I said, I heard this, whether it's true or not, I don't know. Elon's grandparents were supposedly part of the Nazi Party. And when they went to South Africa in the 30s. Now, Elon's mother is also supposed to be a member of the Nazi Party. And so when Elon was in Germany a couple of weeks ago, and he says, you shouldn't let the sins of the past, you hold you down and that, whatever. So everything he's saying is rhetoric from the 30s. So if that is all true, and his little, I didn't really mean a Nazi salute. If you go back and look at some of the Hitler stuff, that's pretty much a Nazi salute. So the problem is that nobody's speaking up for fascism because, and we've spoke about this, the kids today, and I'm talking just say anyone under 35, fat and lazy. I mean, I'm not talking like fat. I'm just saying fat and lazy. They don't care. They have their phone. They have this. If you can keep them fat and lazy, you can take over the world. And that's what's happening. Now, I think what's also happening is people are realizing, oh, this isn't working. So they're starting to speak out more. But the problem is until you have 8 billion people on the planet, until 7 billion people go, enough is enough, you just do it one country at a time. Elon's trying to be, I don't know. He's trying to be the world dictator, not Donnie. I think Donnie is, but I think Elon's got him beat. And I think that is going to be the
I think he's
issue.
got his own agenda also, I believe.
Of course he does. You don't give someone $230 million to be their new best friend unless you have an agenda.
Of course,
and that's why I'm very happy that the judge stopped him from doing things. And then I read an article on the different people he was putting in place to do things. There's a 19-year-old that got fired from a cyber company because he leaked secrets. There's two 25-year-olds. There's this. Yep. And the problem I have with all that is you're going to sit with someone who's been doing something for 30 or 40 years and go, explain your worth. And my point
is your existence to me.
One more time.
Justify your job and your existence to me as a 19-year-old that was
right. But how do I explain to you what I do day to day that is whatever? Now, if I'm writing code, that's different. But if I have a job where I have to do this, and this, I don't think that job means anything, right? But without that job, let's say the power in your hometown doesn't work. But because you don't understand how things work, that's it. And I'm not saying that the government's not bloated. And yes, the government should be cut. But as I said last year, you have to go A through Z. And what they're doing is going A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We're done. And no one's going H to Z. And that's what I said. I like the idea of cutting bloat. I like the idea of what we're doing. But if you don't have a plan, A through Z, very bad. I know that last week they talked about going into the Veterans Administration and Medicare, and I'm thinking, you don't want to fuck with these old people because those are the ones that'll go postal. Because I see one of my friends is like 80, and he goes, I'm close to death anyway. He goes, I don't care, and their mentality is, and they come from that generation is, we'll fight, and they're like, we're going to die sooner than the 20-year-old, and I think there's going to piss off a whole bunch of people, and that's going to be bad. And the thing where we had Patriotic Millionaire and Lost Dollar on Friday, and they were talking about you have to tax the rich. And I don't really agree with taxing the rich. What I agree with is tax the corporations. Let the people keep their money so they can live and survive. Or under a certain dollar amount, you don't tax people. It's like just, you do. Like taxing Social Security to me is like double taxation. Like, why are you taxing Social Security? The people already paid the tax. So let's tax the companies. Let's stop with this 5% bullshit and all these tax loops for companies. Why don't we just say it's a flat 25% and you're done? And with all the trillions of dollars they all make, you're probably going to clean up stuff really quick. Then if you want to tax billionaires for fun, sure. But when I hear, and Warren Buffett thinks this is wrong, Warren Buffett, like 1 year paid, I want to say $5,000 in taxes because it's all capital gains and loans and, it's juggling of money. And his secretary paid like $30,000, and she makes, let's say, $250,000 a year. Where's the logic? So until we can clean up the common, and if all we're going to do is make the oligarchs more oligarch and rich, at some point the population, whether it's here or wherever, is going to be enough's enough, and it'll be like, screw you. What are you going to do about it? Nothing, because you can't lock up 300 million people.
Well, look, how you judge the system in China or in Russia? Is it democracy or something like that?
Russia's all oligarchs, and they make no qualms about it. And we've done
Exactly.
deals there.
But do you see any reaction from the people?
No, because they keep the people fat and happy. They make sure the people have what they need.
I don't think that they are happy. Look, the video what was the name of these journalists that went and took a interview with Putin?
Yeah. Oh, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, and I remember he was showing how beautiful the metro of Moscow is. Yeah, it's beautiful because it's old and everything. And he went out, and there were videos. What do you see there? That there are no fat people and everything like that, and which it's a lot of things,
Right.
Just go 20 kilometers outside of the center of Moscow.
Yeah.
Just go and see how the fuck it looks and how poverty there is there. Just look. I mean, they have toilets outside. Still,
it makes sure,
and they call it superpower. They call it go to the United States and see a village like this, which is, or in Europe even. Come here. Greece is a it's poor country. Come here and look at how the village. They're not so poor like in the superpower Russia, but it's the power of showing a video. Look how the metro looks, and the stupid fucking people. Oh yeah, we don't have this beautiful. Well, Prague is a very beautiful city, but it's, history. This is not just, I don't know. It's such a propaganda. I mean, they have an agenda, which they want to. I don't know. They want to destroy everything. I don't know. Is it about money only? Is it about power now? I think it's not about money with Elon Musk anymore, because there's so much money. It's about power now, total power.
I think he wants to be the first trillionaire. I think he wants to say, I was the first.
Okay, let's say that he will be, because it's not far away. He will be.
He will be if he keeps doing what he's doing, because his stock.
Yeah. So fucking what?
Yeah, I agree.
Is he like having orgasm every time that he says another billion, another billion, another billion? Isn't he going to die?
Wait, can he have an orgasm? I don't know. Vicky, can he have an orgasm?
I don't think that he can. I doubt that he can. Well, Well, he's got a lot of children, so he has to have
someone's having orgasms. So, but yeah, I agree with your point. So that the real issue becomes then, what do you do to fix the planet? And the problem is nobody wants to fix it, and that's just the issue. It's like nobody.
Well, it's not that nobody, but Yeah,
Listen, the peons that want
the
to peons that want
majority is
the
not giving a
peons that
shit.
want to
That's true.
the peons that want to fix it, nobody gives a shit. Greta, whatever her name was, nobody cares. She's already gone. She was yesterday's news when Trump was president.
Stephen,
Whatever.
in our history, if we study it, there were a lot of periods when we didn't care. We didn't care. We didn't care with Hitler. Also, we didn't care with
Right.
other stuff because
Yeah.
we always say Hitler because it's the most recent like global disaster, right? So we say, but there were other guys
Oh
behind.
yeah.
There was Mao, Stalin, or and even
Hoover. Yeah.
if you go,
Hoover used to
if you
Hoover
go,
the
yeah,
president here.
it seems to me that people forget easily,
Yes.
and if they forget easily, they are going to have it back again. So we
Well,
are
and
calling it
they are.
back again.
Yeah. Well,
So
China.
we
I
are
mean,
going to suffer. We are going
and,
to suffer.
and China woke up about 3 months ago. There's a big article in The Economist that said that Xi realized that the policies and what they were doing was hampering entrepreneurs and everything. So they've changed, like they've done a 180 to make China, if you will, China great again with entrepreneurs and companies and do. So they like woke up. They still have their social scores and they still have this and they still have that, but they were like, whoa, 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 we better change or we're going to have a bigger problem. So they've changed their way of thinking according to The Economist. Now I haven't been there in the last 3 months, so I can't tell you. But so it seems like they're changing and they get it. America seems to be going back to the 1930. We're going to be an isolated country,
Yeah,
this,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
and that's bad. I
It's
mean, and picking
and
on to your point earlier, our neighbor to the north, Canada, and they go, we should make you the 51st state. And I mean, like, I know it's rhetoric, but the Canadians that we talk, they're like enough. Like Donnie, nobody cares, And the joke we have is like, you want to go to war with Canada, Mexico, and Greenland and Panama. Okay, PS 137 in New York City can fight that war. I'm talking, this is like kindergarten through sixth grade. Those kids can go beat up everybody and we could take it over. It's not, Donnie's not picking a fight, for lack of a better term, with Russia about the Ukraine, China about Taiwan, and powers like just even India that can be like, oh, really? Even in the Middle East, like when he made his threat on when all the Middle Eastern governments said about Gaza, from UAE to Saudi, the rest of them, they're like, screw you, pal. And they're all, and there he goes, well, we protect you. And they're like, we don't need your protection that bad. So, if somebody stronger stands up to him, it's sort of like, oh, okay, no, I didn't really mean that. That's why the next day after he made that comment about Gaza and that now who was coming in his pants, the White House had to call it all back and go, no, he didn't really mean he's going to send troops. No, he didn't really mean this. No, he didn't really mean that. So the problem is that when you're just picking on low hanging fruit, and I understand Greenland is strategic and whatever, but you don't go tell everybody we're going to send military troops and take it over. I mean, if
no,
you
you
really
don't
want to
even
do,
say it. You
you
don't
don't even
say
say
what you
it
said
publicly.
to Mexico or Canada. You
Well,
don't
Mexico,
say it even.
it's okay. They don't speak English. We're good. And in
They do
Canada,
speak English.
I know,
They
I'm
understand. They
aware.
have
Yeah, I know.
Google
Who knew?
Translate.
Google Translate. And in Canada, they speak French. They don't speak English. But my point is that
Yeah.
yeah, I understand why you do it. There was a guy on Bloomberg from, I forgot what university, but he said, what Trump's trying to do is he puts out 10,000 executive orders a day. And in that, there's 3 or 4 he really wants. But he puts out these crazy ones that the press and everybody covers. And that's what everybody attacks. While these 3 or 4 ones that, are kind of, they look normal, those are the ones that he really wants. So it's like if you throw enough crap against the wall, it starts to stick. So I go back to what I said earlier when the judge is like, Elon Musk can't be in the payment system to see what's going on. They're kind of like, hey, you guys can't do this. You can't. So it's really becoming now the courts are the ones that are telling the president, no, you can't do that. It's against the Constitution or it's against the law. And it's sort of like, how we're going to, and whether he stays 4 years or 10 years or whatever, who knows? If really every day we're going to be doing this, and I read an article this morning in Bloomberg that said trading currencies, which is true now, is cool again because the currencies are so volatile. Like when Biden was president, and the last time Trump was president, even Obama, like there's nothing like boo, 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 boo. Now they're like spiking like somebody's having a heart attack. So in that respect, it's great, but once again, you still haven't helped anybody. Like there's a lot of talk. Everything keeps going up in price. People don't have jobs. What are you going to do? I mean, unless you're literally just going to do a basic income where everybody gets, $200,000 a year and an Elon Musk robot and a Tesla, and everyone's like, oh, okay. I mean, but until then, you got to do something. And the American public, as stupid as they are, is only going to wait a certain amount of time before they're going to be like, "Hey, Orange Man, what the fuck?" And unfortunately, I think they're getting to the what the fuck moment now. That people are just getting annoyed with him, and I think some of his supporters and Republicans are getting annoyed with him. And I
Of
find it
course they
interesting.
will, because it's not one unity thing,
Right?
united or something. There are many different kind of powers that
Yeah.
are clashing. I don't know. But what you're saying is really right, because there's no stability. We're
Yeah.
like living in a world like it's like our we're becoming like there's this mental disease that is once you're high, then you're down, high,
Manic depression,
bipolar. Yeah, right.
bipolar.
Mm.
Yeah, we are becoming a bipolar society in general. Like, oh, now we're good. Oh, now we're very bad. Oh, now we're good. Look, this is not in the benefit of humanity and the
Right.
humans. Like I said before, although we are in the best technological, which means actually that we have food, we have like never before. There are
Right.
still poverty, of course, in countries like
U.S.
in African, but
Yes.
even in USA, even in USA, there are poor people. So
Right.
and but we are the best moment that we ever had. We are the best moment,
Technology,
and
yes.
and
Economically, 1973 for the United States and the globe was the best moment economically.
what when 73
1973. 1973 was
I
the
was one
best
year old.
economic moment. Yeah. That
Well,
comes
I don't
from,
know. What I know is that we have. I mean, the goods are all over. It's
hmm?
73 was still Cold War, and there was. I'm talking about the whole global
Right.
system.
There's an
I mean,
economist
we
from,
we
I forgot what school, but he was saying that he was also on Bloomberg, and they were talking about economically, when was the United States at its peak, and it was 1973, and he had all these charts and graphs with the Bloomberg panel and was explaining it. So I was like, that's interesting. So his 1973 was the peak of our economic boom. Even though we've had billionaires
Yeah,
more
but we
now,
have
whatever,
more
that's
advanced technology. That means that we have better medicine, we have better transportation, we have communications, we have those add to our lives. I mean,
but that
the
doesn't mean
quality of life.
economically
So,
it's
so
better.
our
That's
life
quality
in
of
general
life,
should be better.
but
Should
it's
we
not.
should be we should be more satisfied. But look, what we need to be alive now is kind of this kind of pills. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, we can zoom in on this. Oh, good. Look at
Now you
that.
can see. We
Xanax.
yeah, we need those. We need those to cope. I mean, what the hell? It's
Wait, I have
I,
better news for
I
you
don't
than
use it. I
Xanax.
have it here in case of a panic attack or something.
Okay,
I
I
don't,
got you.
I don't really need it. But I
I
have a chronic stress because I have
okay.
high pressure,
Okay,
and
well,
I
here's
try
going to
to
make you
find
feel
out
better.
why, and I don't know.
Because of the
Anyway,
United States, because of the United States and Donald Trump. But I can make this. I'm going to make you feel better. Last week, the president of Colombia said that cocaine was no worse than wine or whiskey, and it should be sold on shelves just like wine and whiskey. And he
It used
wants
to
to try
be.
it out. And he wants to, yeah, back in the day, in the 30s when it was in Coca Cola. And he wants to put it on the shelf. And then we called him. He's going to be a guest on one of our shows coming up. And he said, I said, what country do you want to start with? He said, Greece. So soon in Greece, you'll be able to
it's
buy
not possible.
cocaine
We
on the
we
shelf.
we have not legalized weed yet, so
Oh,
we are.
never mind then. I'm trying to help you guys out. I don't know what to tell you. So, but yeah, I thought that. I
And
mean,
we have
I'm not
the perfect climate for weed.
right. Well, the funny thing about the guy from
Well,
the president from Colombia, he didn't just make a statement to a reporter. He made it on live TV at a cabinet address, like the State of the Union. He made that live. So the Financial Times reported it, and they showed it, but they showed it in Spanish, which didn't do me any good. But
I haven't tried coke.
I,
I don't
I've
know.
never
So
had it, so I don't know. I mean, I drank it when I was a kid. But I
I never.
remember when I read that, I read the article like 3 times because I'm like, I'm misreading something. And I got to the point where I was using my finger on the screen going, the president of Colombia. And I'm like, no, no, they really said what I read. Okay. So that was the funniest thing in the world. But to his point, if you it to his point, you know what? If you want to whatchamacallit, if you want to do cocaine, that's up to you. And if you want to tax it, and even the president of Mexico said the same thing that the Colombian president said, if you tax it and make it like marijuana or make it like booze.
Like a product that you can buy.
Yeah, it's your deficit goes, and it's not then all of a sudden it becomes controlled, so you probably won't get bad stuff and kill yourself. Number two, the good part about that, I guess, I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying, if you think logically through it, if we start taxing it, then that would probably bring down. They say it's a multi-billion-dollar thing. So if you're taxing it, you'll probably bring in $1 billion a year in tax. Okay, well, it's $1 billion more than you have, right? So at some
Yeah.
point
You
there's a
can
logic
build
and not a
sound
logic to it. Like
hospitals, for example, or schools.
maybe I would hate for my
I
kids
don't get
that
why
I
we
don't have to have kids. So
I don't get why we feel the need to, this is a tangent, so forgive me if it's like left field, but why do we feel the need to regulate people's safety in that, how do I say this? Like, it's like, okay, we don't want to sell cocaine because it's bad for you. So we're going to
right,
protect you from yourself of making this choice of taking it by making it illegal. But like alcohol's fine. You can have
right.
that,
Or
even though
nicotine.
that is going to cause, yeah. But or like you have to wear a seat. This never makes sense to me. You have to wear a seatbelt in your car, or
Mhm.
it's against the law. But if I'm dumb enough not to wear a seatbelt or not to wear a helmet on my motorcycle, then that's one less dumb person that we have to deal
Yeah,
with in this planet that's going to go, like be taken out of the gene pool. If you can't protect yourself, why does the government have to say, oh no, you have to wear a seatbelt or we'll pull you over and give you a ticket? Why? Don't we have enough other shit we could be working on and dealing with than having to babysit you from yourself? I never understood why we do that. And that cocaine kind of thing falls into it. It's like, well, as long as I'm not murdering people on cocaine, which is a separate
right.
crime,
Well,
then let
I
me be
think
on
that the
cocaine at
logic.
home and
I
freak
think
you
that the
out.
logic is that if you, I don't know, if you take a drug or something like that and then start to drive, you're becoming dangerous to the others.
Right. But
So
then at that
the
point, you
government
could
has to
regulate that.
protect you from the other. I
Drive and
mean,
do
the
cocaine
others
because
from
now
you.
you're harming someone else. But if you're harming only yourself, who gives a shit?
That point.
They could say, okay,
There
it's
you
legal,
go.
go and. But there are countries. I think Netherlands or Switzerland. I think those countries are very advanced, and
Mhm.
they have also euthanasia. I think
Right.
which
All,
we
all
don't
the Asians.
like. We have euthanasia for my dog.
Right,
Like
Right.
right,
if my
No, no.
dog is in the final stage of cancer, for example, with
right.
terrible pains, we can kill him. We can give,
Yeah,
relieve her, but you cannot relieve
Right.
a human. You have to
Right.
suffer,
yeah.
you shithead.
You can go to Australia. You can go to Australia and euthanize a human. You can't go. You can't do it in the
Australia,
United
you
States.
can do this in
You can do
Australia.
that. Australia, you can do it. Back in the United States, we had Jack Kevorkian, and Jack Kevorkian
Mhm.
thought that if you were at a stage where you wanted to die because of your cancer and you couldn't, is you were going to die anyway, and he went to jail but got released. Like there was some obscure thing. I think there's a state or two here that you can do it in. But yeah, listen, we need regulation. Like you need to regulate the
I mean, we
banks.
need, we
You
need
need to
regulation,
regulate,
of
right?
course,
You need
but
regulations, but
not in
certain
everything.
things, right? Well, and if you want to regulate things, then regulate it fairly. Like I don't, and I remember my parents telling me, oh yeah, back in the day, there was cocaine and Coca-Cola, and I thought they were crazy because you grow up in the '60s and you read it, and then
You
all of a
thought it
sudden
was
you
the
read
same
about it.
thing,
Yeah, yeah, it was what's the difference? And it was like, and
and
the
you're
doctor who
sniffing,
invented,
sniffing
yeah, no,
Coca-Cola.
right. But the doctor who invented it, but it would calm you down. It would do this. It would do that. So some of the stuff, I
Yeah,
think,
dude.
like the ancient medicines, and they're like, oh no, those are no good. Well, yeah, because Pfizer can't make money on it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So some of
Exactly.
the stuff that they used 100 years ago or 200 years ago that made people healthier, then I think maybe we should take a look at that. And that's what Robert Kennedy Jr. wants to do, which I'm okay with holistic medicine. The other thing is
Oh,
stuff that we know is going to kill you. Let's get rid of it. But I give Kennedy credit because what he said was also, the American food companies are killing us with all the crap they put in it. And most stuff that we sell in America, you cannot buy outside of the United States. Like they
yeah,
won't
but
sell it in
see,
Europe anymore.
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
said
yeah. And
80% stupid shit and 20% maybe something that makes sense, I'm sorry. That's like not, I
Uh,
can't listen to your 20% when your 80% is insane.
are you talking
Sorry.
about Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay. That's because he has a
Sorry. You
worm in
just,
his brain. That's why. If
yeah,
he
he
didn't
does
have the
have worms.
worm, he'd be 50, he'd
Yeah.
have 50 50 cents. So, but I'm just saying, though, some of the stuff he says, as crazy as it is, I'm like, all right, let's like take a look at it and let's see what we can do with it. But I'm more of like, can we just go back to when doctors and hospitals would actually treat you? Now everything is triage, right? It's like, take these pills. They don't really care what's wrong with you. Just take a pill. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking a pill. And they're like, but I go, no, but what will make this better? And they don't know what to do with that because all they teach them now is take a pill, take a pill, take a pill, take a pill. If you go to the emergency room, they're like, here, leave, take a pill, leave, take a pill. You could be dying. They're like, leave, take a pill. They don't want to treat anybody. So when like people go out and shoot the president of United Health, it's kind of like, yeah, I get it. People are getting fed up. And I keep saying it. You piss off 300 million people and that's just the United States. You're going to have a bigger problem than X. So we need to figure out how we get everybody to a state of like, we're living better, we're healthier, we have food, we have this, we have that. Like, so they're going to have to actually start doing something unless they really just want civil discourse so they can implement the, let's throw the army into every city type of thing. But then again, the army, guys in the army.
But you're giving too
in
much
the war,
credit to the people. I tell you, is
that's
something going on in Russia? Nothing. They have
nothing.
a total oligarchy, and it's not a democracy. Nobody's
Right.
moving. In China, do you see something going on in China? No.
Well, China's
In
okay.
Iran, okay. In Iran, they are trying to do something, but still, it's not. If you have a guy like Elon Musk who controls the media and everything, because that's his agenda, right?
Right.
Yeah.
To control everything and to pass his agenda, whatever, like, then you don't react. You're helplessly, you're helpless. You don't react.
I think you
And
do react.
and what you said before, that the young people are they have so many social media and games and stuff like that, to pass their time like this, to enjoy. They don't want to react to anything, and then
Yeah.
it's too late.
Yeah,
Suddenly
that's
it's
very
too
true.
late. You're a slave.
Yeah. And our show, they young kids, anybody under like 30 is not going to watch because actually you have to have IQ points and you have to think and you have to know what's going on. You have to read a book or a newspaper in the last, say, 10 years, and you have to know what history is. Because if you don't, then, being on this show is not going to help you out.
And now the danger now is that in the history, the fascism and everything, they had to use soldiers, humans,
Right.
but they are still humans, to
Yeah.
take you
Pull the
down or
trigger.
something.
Yeah.
But now they slowly will start to use the robots. It doesn't
Yes.
cost like souls
No.
and everything. They obey you, whatever you say.
Right.
It's I read recently that Elon Musk, he wants to throw out people from the government, put robots and
Yeah.
algorithms there, so because
So they
they're
listen to
easy
him.
controlled and they're
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
And what you gonna do? It'll be too late, because if they will be seeing like cops, which are RoboCops,
Right.
the film, you cannot do anything. It's powerful shit that will control you for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then every book that we have read, like A Brave New World, for example, or all those dystopia films that we've watched, we're
Right.
gonna live it. We're gonna experience first-hand experience.
Well, like I
But
said, we at the
it's where we're
Illuminati
going.
Club are
It's where we're
hoping.
going.
Yeah, well, of course. That's why Elon needs to be in power so he can implement it.
Yeah,
So,
but you're saying that, don't touch the people. Well, they will always give to the people a bone, to lick the bone. They will have the
that's a whole
trillions.
nother show.
They will have the trillions, and you will have like 2 grand. And you say, oh, 2 grand's good. You can buy eggs and everything. What do you want more?
Right.
It's good. Enjoy
Tell me
what
they
you
want more.
have, because I may take 1 grand and you will be left 1 grand.
Apparently, what they want is more cocaine, according to the president of Colombia. So there you go. So,
Well,
Vicky,
there
before we
is,
go,
the worst drug, the worst addiction is to the power, I think. And it's
well,
the thing
power and money.
that Elon Musk has, the Donald Trump, but not only, also in general, politicians and other people. It's a power.
Yeah. Well, we have so much power here on our show, so we were very addicted to it. So now, Vicky, before we leave, you have the Chicago Cubs shirt on. So the fans
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
my
podcast.
family.
This is
Yeah, so
Chicago.
This is baseball,
Chicago
Adam.
baseball. It's a baseball team.
Okay. But
Baseball.
what you have something to do with Chicago?
That's who she roots
No.
for.
But
She
you
actually,
just
That's
for
too long of a story for the end of the show.
you just like this team.
I'll tell it sometime if you guys want to hear it, but we don't have time now. But I'll explain why I'm a Cubs fan at some point if you want.
Okay, but you like baseball, right? You like baseball
I
more than
love
football.
baseball. Oh yeah, baseball's my jam.
Your first, you like? Okay.
Yeah, I love it. It's yeah. I've been going to baseball games since I was like 5 years old, and
wow,
Okay.
yeah,
that's before they
my
had
dream
outdoor
That's
baseball is
why
lighting.
crazy.
So yeah.
Okay.
So,
I don't know how it's played. I tried to find out how it's, but I
My
couldn't.
dad was a coach, and my brother played in college, and all that kind of stuff. So like, it's like, yeah.
Adam, just watch a game. Go onto YouTube, look at U.S. baseball,
I'll
and
teach
watch it.
you, Adam.
How can
It's
I
really
watch when I don't know how it's played?
I'll
because I
teach
tell you
Oh,
you.
something. Literally, baseball takes you about 5 minutes, and you figure out how it's played. There's 3 strikes, 3 outs, run around some bases. It's not like
okay. To
football
be
where they.
honest, I don't know something I don't like there, and for sure
Oh yeah, yeah.
American football I don't like because it's too violent for me.
Yeah.
Yes, it's too
I
violent for
like
the
more,
Americans. Yeah.
the aesthetic stuff. That's why I like the so-called soccer, the football.
European football. I like European football. That's violent too.
It's
So
not only European; it's in
global
America
football. Global
also
football.
very
Oh, I
popular
know.
now, isn't it?
Yeah, but nobody cares
Mm.
about it in America. Like nobody gets
Oh no,
excited. It's like, oh, we
no!
have
A lot of people
ML. No,
care. Of course, a lot of people care. But all
I had
the
a guy
South
yesterday.
America cares about it a lot.
Yeah, because they're all
Well,
coming up to
All the
I
world.
want to
29.
see. I want to see Adam's dog that he's petting. Can
It's
we see
you want to
her?
see her? But
Yeah.
wait,
Can you show
Elado,
her?
Elado, Elo Korichakimu. She didn't want. Come on, Elo, Elo, Elo,
I
Jijuko,
was doing mine earlier. She went to sleep.
Oh,
Ah, there we go. Let's get her. Let's get a
oh,
close up of the pup for all the
This
he's
puppies
is
so
my
around. There you go.
princess.
pretty.
Look,
Yeah.
Oh,
look,
of
because
course,
she's
Adam's
hungry
is
now.
here for women. He's beautiful.
Yeah, she's. And I had a dream today that
Okay.
I met another dog. And she was she's not feeling comfortable.
You're cheating on your dog in your dream.
Okay,
She's cheating on
you
you.
watch. Now she
She's
went to
mad with
play
you.
with her orange. She plays with oranges here. We have a lot of oranges here. So instead of balls, we have oranges. I
Nice.
throw her oranges all the time. And
Very cool.
I saw a dream that I kind of found another dog, but it was like her relative or a brother, sister, I don't know.
Right.
But it was a little taller because she has small legs and stuff.
Right. Just a
And
midget.
I
I get it.
remember that I helped the dog because she had something in her nose like this, and I took it off, and it was like a needle. Yeah, and I helped her or him, I don't know. So I took her home, and we had two dogs suddenly.
Very nice. That's too funny. All right. So next week, Vicky, we want to hear the Chicago Cubs story when we start the show.
Yes.
That's
And
That's
maybe we'll have
Yeah.
the first report because the printer is coming. The 3D printer is coming.
Oh,
Yay.
3D
I
art.
bought
You can do a 3D art.
Vicky. I bought the 3D printers on Black Monday. How it's Black Friday?
Friday.
Black
I
Friday.
even said on the Black
When-
Market.
And I still don't have it. It's February. It was November. It
Yay.
was no. I still don't have it.
So this is gonna
But
be
it's
great. So
coming.
Really?
It's coming.
he's gonna print
Don't be
life-size
scared.
replicas of all of us. So you fans, you can order them now.
Perfect.
So yeah, it'll be
We
cool.
don't have to be
All right,
here.
everybody. Yeah, right. We'll have
Yeah,
AI.
I'll be creating artworks with 3D prints and
There you
paintings.
go.
I have so many ideas. All those I started to write them down because I'm not a guy who writes down the ideas because I never run out of ideas.
Right.
But
Now
but
you're
my
writing them down.
favorite David Lynch was saying, no, you write them down because
Yeah.
not all ideas are the same quality. He's right about that.
That's true.
But I'm sometimes, when I go out with the dog and they're the ideas come, or when I go to sleep, ideas suddenly come like that, and I say, oh my God. And but I don't remember much in my life, and it's not because I have a kind of problem. It's like I always said that I'm not gonna trash my mind and my memory with every kind of experience that I have.
Right.
Only the important ones. So the important ones I remember, and when I
Right.
have an experience, I say, "Oh, this is important. I have to keep that in mind." So that I have it.
I'm lucky that I have a photographic and pornographic memory. So I have
Pornographic memory. Pornographic memory. What does it mean?
Well, they'll say that.
That when you think about the memory, suddenly something's going on, something happens.
So yeah, it's like that.
And you
It's like
say,
the,
"Wife, come here. I want to tell you something."
I don't tell anybody anything. I keep everything upside. So, well, I will
I
tell
don't
you one.
tell. I just show.
Well, I know, and the police have asked us if you would stop doing that.
Wife,
Anyway,
I want to tell you something.
yeah, there you go.
Wife,
Going back.
there's something going on.
I will say this about European football. We did get a call a couple of days ago from a team that wants to sell, and I was like, "Really?" So it's and for people in America that don't know what to do with their money, like guys that are like worth a few hundred million that all want to buy football teams. When we talk to them, they're like, "Oh, I'd buy a team." So I'm like, "Okay, we're going to sell you a team." So football, European style, we'll just call it that for now, is growing here in America, but not the American teams. It's the European teams, the Asian teams, those teams that when they go for sale, people are on it like white on rice because they realize you can make more money thanks to Ryan Reynolds. The people here in America don't get that, which I thought was interesting. So football teams for sale here, nobody cares. But when someone calls me and says, "Hey, I got a football team," 3 phone calls later, I can get a buyer for their team, which is I find fascinating. So I thought that was interesting. So that's my take on football or soccer, for lack of a better term. And there you go. Boys and girls, it has been a thrill. Adam, it's always good to see you in your little
Yeah,
star
you
hat.
too, of course,
Yeah.
always.
Bunker.
Vicky, it's always good to see you. I'm glad your AI is working. We will
Yep.
see. Yeah, there
Vicky,
you go.
when you're going to Korea again, or
Yeah, when's the president calling you back?
Yeah. I need to go see my boyfriend. Well, he's in prison right now, so who knows?
Okay.
he's in Korea?
She's the mistress of the president.
He's being Adam. He's being, you
What
know how
president?
Steven
The
is.
one who
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, not a real boyfriend. I don't.
Yeah, she can't get a real
imaginary boyfriend.
Yeah,
So wait,
Ooh,
so
right.
it's
talking
like
about
me.
not
I
getting a
have
real
many
boyfriend.
imaginary boyfriends
Yes, you do.
in my
Are you
life.
gonna
So
are you also going to see the president of North Korea this time? Because I'm just saying, because his sister's trying to get the power now.
Kim,
Trying to help
who
him out.
Kim.
knows? Yeah, who knows what he's sending all his troops all over the place. So we might have to talk about that.
Did he send the
Yeah.
troops?
Do you send him to
In
Russia?
Ukraine,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, for the Ukraine.
Yeah, but I read that they are gone, they're or executed, or they left, or
Yeah,
something like that.
well,
We don't know
unfortunately, there's
because we
more where
don't
they
really
came
know
from.
what's going on. One side is propaganda, the other side is
Right.
propaganda. We don't really know
And the
what's
other
going
funny
on.
thing about the story about the North Korean troops going to the Ukraine is the first time they've really had internet. And there was an article in the Guardian, and David shared it on No Snobs or Knobs, and he was saying that 90% of the troops are watching porn. Like it's the first time I've ever seen porn. That's what the North Korean
Yeah, I
troops
read this. I read this
are.
too. But
Never
in any
seen,
case,
never matter where.
yeah. But in any case, the superpower Russia using troops from North Korea is not
That's
acting
not a
like
good sign.
it's like suddenly USA is going to war something and suddenly takes Canadians that they're not Canadian, Mexicans, let's say, and putting them into war because they cannot cope with the opponent, which the opponent is like a small country, like because
Like Greenland.
Ukraine is very small compared to Russia, right?
It's like if we go to war with Greenland and ask Canada and Mexico. to help
Yeah,
us out.
and we don't have enough. Let's put the Mexicans in.
Yeah. So this is going to be an interesting next couple of months here in America. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's
Hopefully
going
we
to
all
be an
survive.
interesting future in general, I think.
Yeah.
We're
Just
not going
hold
to
on
be bored.
Hold on to your seats, kid, or your hats.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for watching or listening. If you're on the podcast, if you want to see it, you don't want to see us, but listen to us. You can find us at Two Old Farts Making Noises
Guys.
wherever you get your podcasts. We are everywhere. You
Yeah,
name it,
and
channel,
share the
podcast,
word.
share.
Everybody needs to listen to
Yeah.
those truth that we are saying. Only we say the truth. You have to obey the truth. Obey to the truth.
Joe Rogan, calm down. Anyway, there we go. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much.
We are lying too, but our lies are more beautiful.
Well, because we have Vicky, and without her, then
when we have Vicky, you see, they don't have anything.
That's right.
We have Vicky.
They have nothing. There you go.
Vicky is going to be the next president of the United States. You know that.
Oh, we're screwed. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
and not with Democrats or any kind of
women's right movement. She'll do the women's right thing.
The Human Party.
Yeah, I like that. The Human Party. I like it. All right. I'm going to think through that one because I have a lot of things to say on that. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. We'll see you here next Monday live, and we broadcast later Monday afternoon. So if you missed the show, you can catch it. We'll see everybody later. Thanks, guys. Talk to you all soon. Cheers.
Bye-bye.